Virginia recognized.
Mr. President, I ask that the proceedings of the quorum call be dispensed with.
Without objection.
Mr. President, I ask to speak for up to 8 minutes on of the Democratic time.
Without objection.
Mr. President, I rise today to honor another great federal employee and a constituent of mine from Fredericksburg, Virginia, as we debate this week and over the coming weeks about making sure that the federal government stays open. I think it's important to realize that what we're talking about are the real lives of many of our great federal employees who provide the services day in and day out to make sure that many important public purposes are served. And this is an initiative I know the presiding officer realizes that our former colleague, the senator from Delaware, started. I've been proud when Senator Kaufman moved on to pick up that mantle of, on a regular basis, coming to the floor of the Senate and recognizing federal employees who often, in a very unsung way, do great things for our country. And the federal employee that I'm going to recognize today is someone that I think the presiding officer, who I know spends a lot of time in the air, coming from the great state of New Mexico, will be particularly interested. I know my colleague, the senator from Illinois, who's here, spends a lot of time in the air as well, and that's the subject of what we're going to be talking about today. You know, nearly 2 million people in the United States take to the skies every day. Once in flight, their safety relies on the diligent work of individuals responsible for ensuring that airplanes are well designed and safe. When we reach our destination, as we most often do, it is because of their tireless work. In the rare moments when we rely on individuals like Robert Benzon, who possesses the skill and innovative thinking to find the causes of accidents and ensure that we don't make the same mistakes twice. Robert Benzon is a senior air safety investigator with the National Transportation Safety Board. His job is to investigate aircraft incidents and accidents. He analyzes the equipment and data, identifies the causes of the accident, and makes recommendations to the industry on how to improve safety. He began his career flying combat missions in Vietnam as an Air Force pilot. In 1984, that was long before many of these pages here were even born, he went to work for the National Transportation Safety Board in Chicago. Over his 25-year career, he has served as the lead investigator in several high-profile cases and is considered the best in his field. More than 80% of his team's recommendations have been adopted by the industry. In 1996, Mr. Benzon led the investigation of TWA Flight 800 crash into the Atlantic Ocean. His investigation following this crash led to the recommendations that oxygen contained in aircraft fuel tanks be replaced with another non-burning gas like nitrogen to prevent fuel tank explosions. In 2001, Mr. Benzon led the investigation of the fatal crash of American Airlines Flight 587 in Queens, New York. His investigation led to an industry-wide redesign of the rudder system, as well as changes to pilot training programs for similar aircrafts. Mr. Benzon also led the investigation of U.S. Airways Flight 1549, known nationwide as the Miracle on the Hudson, which made Captain Sullenberger a household name in this country. His investigation included an analysis of the engine damage in black box flight recorders, interviews with the pilots, cabin crew, air traffic controllers, and passengers, and meetings with both manufacturers of the airplanes and its engines. Mr. Benzon has also been a strong advocate for the collection of more in-flight data points from flight recorder black boxes, which he believes are critical to the understanding of what exactly may have gone wrong during a flight. His efforts have led to a significant increase in data from less than 10 data points collected in flights to over 1,000. In an interview, Mr. Benzon said, "My work is a way of giving back. I get a good feeling that after every one of these investigations is over, it is, in his work, has been a service to the country." It is this sentiment that inspires me to highlight great federal employees on the Senate floor. There are countless federal employees who dedicate their lives to making sure that the rest of our lives are better and safer. Every day that we set foot on an airplane and arrive safely at our destination, we have Robert Benzon and his team and countless others to thank. I hope that my Senate colleagues will join me in honoring Robert Benzon and all those at the National Transportation Safety Board for their dedicated services and important contributions to our nation's aviation safety. Mr. President, I know you share in this well regard for this great federal employee and the many others who tirelessly serve to make our country a better place. It's my hope that in the coming weeks we can come to some resolution so that these federal employees can know for the balance of this fiscal year that the federal government will stay in operation, will stay running, and that they can continue to do their work. With that, Mr. President, I yield the floor and note the absence of a quorum.